Vikings got a roster spot open. Hey-o! All right, welcome back to the Onebar and Lupagus show. I am Onebar with Lupagus on this fine morning, and the Vikings sacrifice Nate Stanley to the free agent gods yesterday, which means only one thing: we got a roster spot to fill.
Yes, it definitely means that. And the timing is a little interesting. Why do it now? Why do it before the start of camp? Unless you are planning on bringing in somebody else to fill that roster spot. We're going to talk about some options the Vikings may look at before we do. Remember, this video is brought to you by Lift Bridge Brewing Company. We've been pushing the beers, but you go to the brewery itself, bring the kiddos. They got a fine selection of soda pops that you may enjoy. Your kids might enjoy.
Delicious soda pops, and it might only be 7:55 in the morning, but it is never too early for a Lift Bridge. Crack that sucker open, and let's talk about some players who can fill this roster spot.
Yeah, let's do it. There's obviously some obvious candidates, guys we've already mentioned. I think the first one is Kyle Rudolph. Everybody's talking about him coming back, the prodigal son returning to Minnesota, and it makes sense. I mean, he's familiar with Kirk Cousins. Yes, he's on the last gasps, death rattle of his career, but still can be an effective red zone target. This tight end depth is horseshit. So that to me is probably the most obvious one that just is glaring in my face.
Yeah, and honestly, with this open spot, I mean, if he doesn't come now, he ain't coming. This is his one shot here in my mind.
Are you Eminem?
I wish. We got a couple more obvious ones that we've talked about. Let's talk JC Tretter. As soon as Nate Stanley was cut yesterday, Twitter just Tretter's coming home. Sign Tretter. Pipe dream. I would assume they would have brought him in already. I mean,
I think it's his knees. I think his knees aren't checking out, and I think that's why he's still a free agent. So I'm kind of letting the Tretter dream die myself because I think there's just something not quite right with him.
Yeah, unless there was just Tretter, got to put him on the list because it's a beautiful dream. Another one that has actually been linked to the Vikings a little bit, Mr. Sue, the big old defensive tackle, but can still play.
Yeah, I mean, he's still got a few good games left in him, probably a solid season left in that old frame of Sue's. I'd love to have Ndamukong Suh here, just the fact that it's Ndamukong Suh, and you could say he was a Viking. One of those Vikings you'll forget in 5 years actually played a season with the team. But it would make sense that the depth on the D-line is pretty sus at best, and where he fits in, I'm not sure, but a guy who can still make some plays, like you said.
I don't think people our age should be saying sus. Just to be
I'm
very
hip.
clear.
My head's on backwards, all right?
Sus. Sue, maybe he goes down. He would be like the Jake Long. Remember when Jake Long was a Viking?
I had to Google it because I forgot it happened.
But no, defensive line makes total sense. Bring in another guy. I love it. Two more guys. Another former Viking, Rashod Hill, still a free agent. And while this might not be overly sexy, it's just an insurance policy, basically. I mean, look at our depth right now at tackle. It's gross. And Rashod Hill would actually make me feel better. I never thought I'd say that.
Yeah, I never liked when Rashod Hill started games. It always seemed like he just got destroyed. But when he came in mid-game, someone got hurt. It seemed like he held up okay, and that's what I like for him. He can play left or right side, so it makes sense when you look at this depth chart of the tackle position. It is horrifying. A guy with some experience, a guy who's been here, it would make me feel a little better too.
Yeah, I mean, even if it's just for competition, if he doesn't make the team, great, but bring him in. These guys have no competition back there. So yes, Rashod Hill. We got one more, and really by the time this video we put this on, they probably would have already signed somebody we've never even heard of. But the last guy, again, we're dipping back into the tight end.
Yeah, it's Eric Ebron, crusty old veteran, still out there. I mean, this guy, I don't know how old he is. He's got to be over 30. 29. He still moves pretty damn well. A guy I never really felt hit that potential, never lived up to the first round billing when the Lions took him, but a guy who can still be very effective, definitely an offensive weapon, and a veteran tight end who I don't think it would take Kirk Cousins long to form a solid rapport with. So if you want a veteran to your tight end stable, Kyle Rudolph's gone. Eric Ebron would be a fine name to fill this open hole.
Yeah, I mean, you say he's crusty, but he's like Kyle Rudolph's child compared to how old Kyle Rudolph is. And Ebron, athletic tight end, kind of like an Irv Smith, just an older one. And Eric Ebron is another name that Vikings fans seem to really want to be in purple, and he would be a wonderful backup option. Johnny Munt would lose his shit, go right to the office and demand a trade.
Think so? I don't know. I think it's probably still be tight end 3 for sure. All right, but I think you really said it all there when you were kind of just mid-rant. It's going to be somebody we probably don't even know. Never heard of. We'll have to Google to figure out who the hell this guy is. That's what the Vikings have done so far with some signs. Maybe not for Albert Wilson and Jonathan Bullard, but I think it's going to be someone like that. I really do.
I think it's going to be a cornerback that has been in the league for 3 years and bouncing around from like 8 practice squads. That's my prediction.
We already have like 3 of those on the roster.
Yes, we do. Maybe we'll have 4.
Oh my God.
Let us know in the comments. Who do you want them to sign at position, whatever's in your heart? And remember to hit that sub button.
And Horned Up is coming back tomorrow night. So be there, 7:00. Horned Up presented by Lift Bridge Brewing. Cannot wait for the first show sponsored by Lift Bridge. And remember this, when you're thinking about Horned Up, hummingbirds can lick a flower 20 times per second.
Oh, God.